Hello everybody! Welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and we are in the sand ship. And we are ready to move on in the sand ship. So last episode we kind of started it, but I'll catch you up. We started outside, we came through this door, we went right over here to save. That's it. Because the save statue's in the second room, not at the very beginning, but that is it. So we're technically at the beginning of the dungeon, but do remember that room outside, because it will be important. So we go to the sand ship. When I first heard about this dungeon, when I was like looking up all the dungeons, because dungeons are always my favorite part of Zelda games, any Zelda game. Okay, wait a minute. Hold up. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going to try to do this again. And I know I'm going to fail, because there must be something I'm doing wrong. You know, maybe it's not the Triforce. Maybe it's just a triangle. I don't know. But I'm going to try it again. Even though I know it's not going to work. Yeah, I mean, there must be something I'm doing wrong, because that's close enough. Anyway, we go down here in this hallway, which is actually a dead end, but you can get 10 rupees. So yes, your Gust Bellows are coming back to you. Now, when I first heard about this dungeon, I thought it was going to be my least favorite. I thought it was going to be the worst one in the game. I thought, oh, it's just a ship full with sand. I mean, desert dungeons are cool sometimes. Like, I liked Arbiter's Grounds, but sand ships sounded boring. Like, it sounded like it was going to be empty, there wasn't going to be much to do, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of said, okay, there sounds like there's some cool dungeons here in Skyward Sword, but this sand ship, nah, this is not one of them. That's almost more laughable than me actually thinking this game was going to suck. Or, let me rephrase that, thinking I wasn't going to like this game, because unfortunately there's still some people that weren't as lucky as I was and didn't have a epiphany like I did. I mean, it's really, you know how I always say there are games I'm defensive of? Like Twilight Princess I was for a long time. Anyway, I'm going to try to explain this dungeon while I'm talking about this. First of all, I should say I did practice this dungeon, because, I mean, foreshadowing enough, like, to that story, this dungeon is incredible. It is, I don't like to curse mindlessly, but it is fucking incredible. Okay, fine, I know that really doesn't add meaning to anything. This dungeon is the ship. Ho ho ho! So, it starts off and we just keep descending. And it seems empty. This is exactly, you know, even though this was kind of my expectation for it, first of all, I didn't expect it to be this wide open. Like, you go through halls, go through doors, and make a dungeon out of this. Like, this seems like it would be a mini dungeon. But the fact that they were able to make a whole big dungeon out of it is enough reason why I like it. We're not even at the time shift part. Oops. I mean, you knew there was going to be it, but still. Wow. And back to what I said about being defensive about games. Yeah. Twilight Princess, it seems like it doesn't really need my defense anymore. I guess it kind of happens over the years with games that people start to like it. Because it seems like Twilight Princess is almost everything I see now is positive, which I love. I don't know why at the time that couldn't happen. And this game is really not all positive. And I mean, okay, anyway, yeah, this should be enough hint. But we have a boss door, but not only do we not have the key, there's this big spiked wall breaking it. So even though we see it now, we got a while before we can go in there. So, but even though I do still have that cringe feeling when I hear people don't like this game, especially when it's not because of the motion controls. Once again, not because I think the motion controls are bad, but because, well, you know, I speak from experience to the fact that, you know, it can turn you away. It turned me away. I still can't believe, I mean, I know I'm talking about this, but it's probably just has to do with the fact that this is my favorite dungeon in the game. I know I said before it was the Ancient Sister, and I said my Ancient Sister was my favorite in all Zelda games. It's number 2 or number 3, don't get me wrong. But I just kind of forgot a little bit about this one, but once I played it and practiced, I'm like, Oh yeah, this one's my favorite. And I bet next time I play the Ancient Cistern, I'll think that one's my favorite. So anyway, we have another one of these. We saw this in the Ancient Cistern. Both dungeons that I really like have this. Is there a connection? Probably not. Although I do like the puzzle. This is a cool cryptic puzzle. Like, because I figured it out because I have this kind of mind. I mean, I'm sure other people figured this out on their own too. But I knew exactly what they wanted right away. Because you have this right here. So obviously you need to strike them in a certain order. But see those up there, how the red thing is at the top? Like, that's supposed to tell you that you look at it. I mean, I guess that's really not that hard to figure out. But, like, I don't know. Like, to someone with a Zelda mind. But, like, I guess that means that I have a Zelda mind. So anyway, you see how it says number 1 down, because red is at the top. Now, the one thing that threw me off about this puzzle, as you're going to find out, is that you're actually supposed to hit one of them twice. I'm pretty sure it's down, up, down, left, or either down, up, down, left, or down, up, down, right. It's down, up, down, right. We haven't uncovered the third one, but there it is. It's down. Yeah. So, down. Remember your dyslexia here. We go down, up, down, right. And we can open this door. And it's a dead end with a treasure chest. Well, this either better be the dungeon item or a key. And, well, it's definitely not going to be the dungeon item. We didn't fight a mini-boss yet. But maybe it's going to pull a Metroid, like they do sometimes, where you get the item, but then there's a mini-boss right there. They do that in Metroid? They did it with Alpha Blog in Prime 2. So, there you go. You know, if they want the mini-boss to use a dungeon item. I mean, that's pretty cool. They don't do that in Zelda, though. Not that I know of. I mean, I guess in Majora's Mask, the fact that you had 2 mini-bosses, like one before the boss key as well, might as well save here just to make use of all of these. I didn't save it all in my practice run, because for obvious reasons. And, yeah. Now, of course, once again, I didn't practice the boss, because I played the boss a lot. And I had a kind of trouble my first time, but since then I've been able to beat it with relative ease. Now, I have a bunch of different subjects going on. What was the last thing I was talking about? Oh yeah, the fact that I still can't believe that I was almost turned away from this game. And just because this is my favorite dungeon, is the fact that I'm bringing this up now, like saying, I love you. And the fact that I actually thought this was going to be the worst dungeon in the game. What? Jeez, I certainly convey that I have an open mind, right? I mean, that's certainly the impression you're getting. And yes, that was total sarcasm. I mean, I like to think I have an open mind, but all this stuff implies the opposite. And not that I mean, the problem isn't that I'm telling you. I mean, that's fine. The problem is me. Like, I don't care if you know or not. I'm more disappointed in myself than anything. So, I mean, this is why I'm gonna try to go into video games with an open mind and not be one of those guys. You know? And that's the thing. I can't be defensive of this game because then I'd be a hypocrite. Because I can say, I'm this close to agreeing with you. You know what? That would be a really good comeback. Because it would be, because it would sound like I'm agreeing with them, but it really has a hidden message. Like someone said, Skyward Sword sucks. I am this close to agreeing with you. I was talking about something else. I just forget what it was. It's still a cringeworthy moment, and unfortunately still happening a lot where I lose my train of thought. But let's put that aside right now. Because the first half of this dungeon is rather uneventful. All it is just anticipation, seeing what you're going to do. This guy is a LDOO2S Sturbo. Get it, Sturbo? That's good. But why don't they spell it with SK, like Sculptula? Missed an opportunity for a play on words pun there. Come on, guys. This mutinous robot stole the ship from Skipper long ago. He still commands the ship today. I guess it was long ago, because we're not in the past yet, yeah. When fighting in a narrow space like this, it's more effective to use thrust attacks with your sword than to try to swing your sword widely. Maybe so, but I find that doing vertical slashes and a horizontal slash when he tries to block works just as well. I'm thrusting now, and that's working fine as well. So the first phase is pretty easy. Then he turns up the dial and the pressure a bit. You don't want to get knocked back into that thing. The thing about this boss is that usually I have an easy time with them, and I didn't practice, but there are those occasional moments. Shoot. Okay. This is why we wanted the wooden shield instead of the iron shield, by the way. And as you can see, it's regenerating faster if we upgraded it. Now, if we upgrade it again, I think the overall life bar will be longer. I hate that attack. It's so hard to predict. Yeah, shielding is probably the best strategy. But not one that I'm utilizing very well right now. I have potions, right? I think so. There we go. But it doesn't take a genius to figure out that that was luck. No! Okay, you know what? We're gonna try the thrust. Because that's what Phi said, and Phi is never wrong. Yeah, thrust works better. The vertical slash is probably just because of luck. And then, so now his sword is gone. So he's done, right? No, he's still got the hook. Yes. Pirates got those hooks all the time. You think they would use them to attack sometimes, right? Yeah. I think it's going to be one of those fights where I have a little bit of trouble with it, but we're almost done. No. No, I'm thrusting. The thrust isn't working because you're doing it too fast. No, you're not doing it. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, now he's just getting gameway on me when I use that potion, though. The thrust isn't working. It's because I have the shield out, and it's just... Okay, here's an idea. Stop holding Z. Actually, yeah, that is a good idea. Don't Z-target when you fight this guy. I mean, do it, like... do it to scan, but... because without Z-targeting... because if you're holding Z, you're probably going to be inadvertently moving the nunchuck forward, which you don't want to do, because the reason the thrust doesn't work is because you can't do it with your shield out. If you're not holding your shield out, then the thrust is going to work. Master, that synthetic life form, there's a 99% chance it was the pirate described by the captain. 99? Now you just told me that in the scan information. So, you're not just going to tell me something and then say there's a 99% chance. If you were, you should have told me that the first time. So, do you know what that means? That means that the guy who's running the ship is dead. That means we did our mission, and more importantly, that means that we're running this ship now. So, as you can see, this had the perfect potential to be a mini dungeon. But they decided to go a little further. Because there's still the sacred flame to find. Oh, by the way, we just got the bow and arrow. Sometimes you get this a lot earlier in a Zelda game. This time, not. At first when she says the controls, they sound super complicated. They're not. They're really the same as the same exact controls. And the thing is, I'm not even sure if you use it here, but I'll pull it out just to show you. By the way, something I'm forgetting to be doing is pressing 2, just to do this and show. Yeah. You pointed out, it's basically the same thing as the swing shot, the only difference is that it's stronger. And the one new thing in this game, which, I'm actually going to count this as, I'm not even sure if I should count it as 1 or 2. You can now charge up your arrow shot, by holding A. And also, you can do a quick draw. Quick draw is when you just charge it immediately, and you do that by holding C and just drawing it straight back. I didn't do it right that time. Yeah, I didn't hold it back all the way. So yeah, I like doing that because then it feels more like I'm actually shooting a bow. But if you want to like, if you don't mind taking your time, then you can do it. So I guess there's 2 ways to do it, which is nice. Now, here's the reason I'm going to count 2 new features. One for the new bow elements, but the other for this. Actually, never mind. I'm not sure if I'm going to count for that because I'm not sure if that's something that you were able to do in like Twilight Princess. I got to go back and check that. If you don't even know what I just did, you're like saying, what the heck is that? What I did was I winded up an arrow, then I put my bow away. You can't do that in the 64 games. You can wind up your bow and then you can change the item out and it'll still shoot an arrow, which is actually more annoying than you might think. It's that little first world annoyance. Anyway, 1601, and we saw a good bit of the sand ship. We don't really have the map, but we went through 4 different floors, but now this dungeon's gonna get good. We fought the mini-boss, we got the bow and arrows, so it's already awesome for that. But, oh boy, you ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, that's why I'm just gonna point to you right away. Right here. This is Lukerbomb's 12's announcement right now. If you're having trouble with the stab, it's because you have your shield out. When you have your shield out, it's a lot harder for you to do the stab. It's not really that hard for you to do your other motions, but it is harder for you to do your stab. Even though you saw me doing it, it's not 100%. If you don't have your shield out, and that's another reason. That's another reason. If you have your shield out right there, and you try, if you like, it's not so much when you have your shield out, forget I said that, it's when you accidentally pull your shield out. When you stab, you want to make sure you're only using your right hand, or left hand if you're using the Wii remote in your left hand. Anyway, bye. See you next time.